Anxiety and hypervigilance. Living with hidden trauma often feels like being stuck in high alert mode. Your brain's alarm system, the amygdala, stays switched on, scanning for danger even when none is there. You might notice racing thoughts, constant worry, or an inability to fully relax. Maybe you find yourself checking doors twice, sitting with your back to the wall in restaurants, or jumping when the phone rings. This isn't weakness, it's survival wiring. Your nervous system learned to stay on guard to keep you safe. Healing starts with grounding, noticing what you see, hear, and feel right now. That gentle reminder tells your brain, the danger is past. Depression and low energy. Another hidden sign of trauma is the heavy fog of depression. Instead of bursts of panic, it shows up as emptiness, fatigue, or loss of joy in things you once loved. Your brain, overwhelmed by stress, shifts into shutdown mode to conserve energy. This isn't laziness, it's a protective freeze response. You might feel hopeless, irritable, or simply flat. Even small tasks feel impossible. Healing doesn't come from forcing yourself to snap out of it. It begins with tiny steps. Sunlight on your face, a short walk, or reaching out to one trusted friend. Each spark of movement tells your nervous system, it's okay to re-engage. Trouble sleeping. When trauma lingers, sleep often suffers. Nightmares, insomnia, or waking up tense are all signs your nervous system hasn't fully shifted into rest mode. Your brain remains on guard, replaying memories or scanning for threats long after the day is over. Sleep is supposed to be when the body repairs, but trauma can turn it into another battlefield. You may toss, turn, or dread bedtime altogether. Healing begins with calming signals. Deep breaths, gentle stretches, or even placing a hand over your heart as you settle in. These cues remind your body that rest is safe, and safety over time brings sleep. Emotional numbness. Sometimes trauma doesn't make you feel too much. It makes you feel nothing at all. This numbness is a defense system, shutting down emotions to protect you from overload. You might watch a sad movie without tears or receive good news without excitement. Your brain's fear center, overwhelmed by past pain, flips the switch to off. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system is doing its best to guard you. Reconnecting with emotions takes patience. Try music, art, or simply ask yourself, what do I feel right now? No judgment, just noticing. Slowly, you show your brain that it's safe to feel again. Over-apologizing. Do you say sorry for bumping into a chair? Or apologize when someone else makes a mistake? Over-apologizing is often rooted in trauma. Your brain, shaped by past experiences of blame or conflict, learned that shrinking yourself keeps you safe. The amygdala equates peacekeeping with survival, so you apologize, even when there's no threat. This pattern isn't about being polite, it's about avoiding danger. Healing starts with awareness. The next time sorry slips out, pause and ask, did I actually do something wrong? This small question rewires your brain, teaching it that you don't need to apologize just for existing. Hyperindependence. Hidden trauma can wear the mask of fierce independence. You never ask for help, even when you're struggling. Why? Because somewhere along the line, your brain learned that relying on others wasn't safe. Maybe help came with strings attached. Maybe when you needed someone most, no one showed up. Hyper-independence looks like strength, but underneath, it's survival. The cost is exhaustion and loneliness. Healing begins with small risks of trust, letting someone carry a bag for you, accepting a favor, or saying yes to support. Each small act teaches your nervous system that interdependence doesn't equal danger. It equals connection, avoidance. Trauma often hides in the things we avoid. Maybe it's dodging certain places, people, or conversations. Sometimes you don't even realize why, you just feel an urge to withdraw. This avoidance is your brain's way of protecting you from reminders of past pain. The amygdala associates those triggers with danger, even if they're safe now. But long-term avoidance keeps the nervous system stuck in survival. Healing comes through gentle exposure, not all at once, but in small, manageable steps. Facing avoided places or topics with support rewires your brain to learn. What once felt threatening doesn't have to control you anymore. Shame and low self-worth. Hidden trauma often whispers, you're not enough. That's shame. A deep belief that you're unworthy of love, safety, or success. It doesn't come from who you are, it comes from what you've lived through. If you were blamed, ignored, or made to feel small, your brain stored those lessons as truth. You might struggle with self-criticism, perfectionism, or constantly comparing yourself to others. Shame isn't weakness. It's a scar left by past wounds. Healing begins with self-compassion. Each time you catch the inner critic, pause and counter it with kindness. Over time, your nervous system learns that worthiness isn't earned. It's inherent. Anger and irritability. Not all trauma shows up as silence or sadness. Sometimes it erupts as anger, sharp outbursts, or simmering irritability. On the surface, it looks like you're short-tempered. Underneath, it's your nervous system stuck in fight mode. When you've lived through hurt or unfairness, your brain wires itself to fight off future threats. But the frustration often spills onto safe people or small situations. This isn't you being bad, it's your survival brain doing its job too well. Healing starts with noticing the early signals. Tension in your jaw, heat in your chest. Grounding and breath can help you shift before anger takes over. Difficulty resting. Some people can't sit still, not because they're ambitious, but because slowing down feels unsafe. Trauma can train your brain to link rest with danger. If you lived through chaos, stillness may trigger unease, making you fill your schedule to avoid discomfort. The dopamine rush from productivity masks the anxiety underneath, but constant busyness keeps your nervous system stuck in fight or flight. Healing begins with micro-rest, pausing for one slow breath, a quiet sip of tea, or sitting without your phone. At first, rest may feel unsettling. That's okay. Each gentle pause teaches your brain that safety can exist in stillness. Trust and intimacy issues. Trauma can make closeness feel dangerous. Maybe you keep walls up, push people away, or expect abandonment before it even happens. Your brain, shaped by past betrayal or neglect, wires itself to avoid the risk of being hurt again. This isn't because you don't want love or connection. It's because your nervous system believes distance equals safety. You might crave intimacy but freeze when it shows up. Healing starts with small steps. Sharing honestly with one safe person, letting yourself be seen bit by bit. Each act of trust teaches your brain that vulnerability can bring safety, not just pain. Dependency or unhealthy coping habits. Sometimes trauma hides in the things we lean on too heavily. Substances, food, relationships, or habits that numb the pain. Your brain's reward system craves temporary relief, whether through alcohol, overeating, or clinging to someone for stability. These coping strategies aren't about weakness, they're survival mechanisms. But the relief is short-lived, leaving you stuck in cycles of dependence. Healing doesn't mean stripping away comfort all at once. It means gently replacing harmful habits with healthier ones. Journaling, breathwork, or therapy support. Each time you choose a new coping tool, your nervous system learns that you can self-soothe without self-destruction. Startle responses. Jumping at sudden noises or flinching when someone enters the room. That exaggerated startle reflex is trauma stored in the body. Your nervous system, once trained to expect threat, reacts instantly, even to harmless triggers. The amygdala keeps watch like a guard dog, overprotective and quick to sound the alarm. This can feel exhausting, leaving you tense and jumpy, but it's not overreaction. It's survival on autopilot. Healing starts with grounding in the moment. Feel your feet on the floor, name 5 things you see, or repeat, "I'm safe right now." Over time, your reflex learns it can finally stand down. Isolation. Sometimes trauma doesn't push you toward people. It pulls you away. Isolation can feel like safety when your nervous system associates relationships with hurt. You might avoid friends, cancel plans, or prefer to be alone even when loneliness aches. Your brain thinks solitude protects you from betrayal, rejection, or conflict. The cost? Disconnection from the very support you need. Healing begins with gentle re-entry, reaching out to one trusted person, joining a small group, or simply allowing someone to sit with you. Each act of connection rewires your nervous system to see that safe company can exist and heal. Self-harm or suicidal thoughts. In its most severe form, hidden trauma can lead to dangerous coping strategies. Self-harm or suicidal thoughts often come when the pain inside feels unbearable and the brain sees no safe way to release it. These urges are not signs of weakness or attention-seeking. They're signals of deep suffering. Your nervous system is overwhelmed, desperate to stop the hurt. Healing here requires support. Talking to a trusted person, therapist, or crisis line can be life-saving. Reaching out takes immense courage, but it tells your brain, you are not alone. Help is available, and healing, even from this depth of pain, is possible. Trauma hides in many forms, from apologies and overthinking to anger, isolation, or even silence. But every one of these signs is your brain and body doing their best to protect you. You're not broken, you're surviving, and awareness is the first step to change. Healing takes time, compassion, and support, but with each small step, your nervous system learns. The danger has passed and safety is possible again. If you recognize yourself here, drop a comment and share your biggest hidden sign of trauma you have noticed. Like, hype, and share this video and subscribe for more brain-kind tips. Better brain days.